Okay, so potatoes, what you want to do is you want to sprout them first. This means just warming them up. You can give them a bit of sunshine. If you just warm them up in the dark, then they're going to shoot thin ones. If you warm them up and you give them sun, then they'll be short ones like this. I find it doesn't really make much of a difference. Since I have a prop house, I warm them up in there and get sun. And I find they're a little tougher. They don't break off as quick when you're planting them. But it seems to me to give them the same start. It's called like chitting them or something like that. There's some English word for it. You want to sprout them. I don't cut them, but if you want, you can cut them and just keep a sprout on each cut so that you can cut into two and use it twice. I don't do that. I find that this gives me more potatoes. They may not be as big. I think if you cut them, you'll get bigger potatoes but less. And I usually like new potatoes, so I'm going to go after them early and get them small, and I want a lot of little ones. All right, and so I sprouted these for 4 weeks and they're ready to go in. You could do 5 weeks, 6 weeks. If you're doing them in the dark, it's going to get a little crazy because they get long, so you want to keep it to 4 weeks. If you're doing the sun, you can do it a little longer. In terms of spacing, this is going to be like a 2x2. So it's going to be 2 rows and they're going to be about 15 inches apart, just like about like that, All right, so that would be like that. And I'm going to bury them and then we're going to hill them. But we're going to wait about 3 weeks until we start hilling them. And I'll show you how that goes. But right now we're going to plant them, get them in the ground. Okay, a bit more aggressive with the zipper because you don't want them being above the soil. Oh, and a good time to get rid of any rocks that you find. Don't put them back in. Okay, so I get 2 rows on a 30-foot bed, 30-inch bed. Okay, look at that, I found 2 rocks. All right, so I'm just setting up the bottom of the trench with the sprouts up. Be careful with them, don't break them off, right? Your sprouting work will be for naught. All right, and there we go. All right, and I'm not burying them all that deep, right? I don't think it's necessary. I'd rather hill them in the garden. That just makes more sense. Okay, now you can come along and give them a cover. Okay, you can use the wing, right? Give them a little bit of a hilling to start, and you're going to cover that sprout completely. Right now, because it's dark, it's going to start reaching up again, right? It's going to want to come through the soil. Right? The greens like to be buried. When we're hilling them, we're burying the greens, the foliage, and it doesn't mind. It'll actually start growing roots, like a tomato plant, right? Tomatoes and potatoes are related. They're in the same family. All right. So you can even take a zipper in the middle, and that'll help take the middle dirt and start hilling it. Okay, how beautiful is that? All right, so here's those sprouted potatoes in the ground. They're a bit big for me to put the compost on, but it's still going to be fine. You're not going to hurt the greens. The greens, just like tomatoes, if you used to root, well, these will start to root from the stem and create more potatoes, and that's why they get hilled. It's not to hide the potatoes that are growing, it's to produce more potatoes and to make more roots, because you don't care about the greens so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this compost right down the middle and try to start covering some of the greens. you can't really hill them too high, and you're not going to damage them, so it's hard to add too much compost. So we'll come back in a little bit, in a few weeks, and we'll see how they're doing and see if we're going to add a bit more compost. All right, so the potatoes, this is a check-in. We're not quite there yet, so we're just checking in on them. We had some potato beetle problems. That is perfectly normal. If you don't get potato beetles, be really thankful. They're just, little orange bugs, and the eggs get laid under the leaf by the beetle, and then the larvae, which are orange, they'll come and they'll start eating all the leaves, and they can eat it down to the ground. So all you need to do is take them off, put them in some soapy water, and then they'll drown, and then you can get rid of them and they're dead. But it's important to get rid of them because they will eat voraciously. But luckily, you can see it's coming back, right? We had some chewed stuff over here, but I don't see any more potato beetles. I see a cucumber beetle, but just one. And hopefully we're starting to get some potatoes. I'm gonna go down and check, and you can do this too, right? You can just go take a look and see what's going on down there. We're doing good. We definitely have potatoes down there. I think we could probably start harvesting in a couple of weeks. And I think it's gonna be a bumper crop. It looks really good. All right, so the potatoes, the tops are dying. So they're probably as big as they're gonna get. So we can start pulling them out of the ground. And you can see we have beautiful potatoes here, right? You wanna make sure you dig around and get them all, right? It's gonna be more. You don't need to worry. And so we have great potatoes. We took care of them. We gave a lot of compost. If you get black scab on them, which is pretty normal, it's not going to hurt the taste really. You may have to scrub it off. That's going to be a pH issue, right? So that's about a soil test and rebalancing your soil. We took care of the potato beetles. I showed you that, how bad the potato beetles can get, but you just go through and you take them off, and we saved them by doing that. Yeah, it's been a long road. I mean, you were with me through the whole journey from the time we sprouted them to we planted them and hilled them and saved them from potato beetles, and now we're harvesting them, and they're beautiful. I mean, you can't ask for better.